I know that I spoke about degree, I spoke about credential, and before I said everything that makes you move in your career is experience. And this is the question I receive all the time. It's, how do I get experience? And this is the very relevant and powerful question. Every time I receive this question, my answer is, what kind of experience you should look for? So it depends. And let me try to divide the group here into two groups. People that are looking project management as a generic work. How do I fit? How do you see if you fit here? Means you want to have project management and be able to apply it in technology, construction, humanitarian work, banking. You don't care. You want really to get ideas to reality, no matter what is the area. And the other one is someone that is looking for project management in a specific industry. For example, I want to be a project manager, but I want to work in IT, in technology, or I want to be a project manager, but I want to manage construction projects. Why these two are slightly different? Because this is the way you will shape your experience. First, for the generic, what really matters here is different experiences. My case, many people ask me, why did I go to the UN? One of the key aspects, I would say, looking through the lenses of career, was to have a different experience. Because before that time, I was working most of the time in capital projects, for-profit, I would say money-driven efforts. And suddenly, I was able to use, I would say, the same methods, the same tools, the same negotiation, the same techniques, but in a humanitarian environment. And this helped me to shape different ways of seeing problems. So why? Because I don't want, this is personal decision. You please don't need to follow this decision. But this is why different experiences, they have a massive value. For example, if you want to be a project manager and work on a more generic, but all your experience is in IT, how do you think a construction company or a bank will see you? They will see you as an IT professional with experience in project management, or an IT project manager. And this is great, but this is not driving you to become a project manager at the UN, for example, unless if it's technology at the UN. Did you get that? On this specific, so what you need, okay, to have a lot of specific experience. And remember that a bit of different experience. Let me explain that. A lot of specific, because, for example, you want to be a project manager in IT. Then, of course, it would be great if you have experience being part of a team, Scrum Master, product owner on an IT environment, because then you will know, I would say, the dynamic, the terminology, I would say the concepts, some of the content. But it's extremely important that you have a bit of different experience. Why? Because being a project manager requires you to know different ways of solving the puzzle. Most of the time, one of the biggest challenges of someone that does, I would say, a very similar work for many years is that they think they are senior. Okay, they may be senior on that specific technology, on that specific model, but they are not senior at all in other types of projects. And in a world that is transforming in such a dramatic way as we see today, what is critical is that you as a project manager has different life experiences that will provide to the company you are applying for or your customer with a different perspective. For example, when I had the chance to be at the UN, it helped me a lot to understand what really complexity is about. When money is not driven, but people just die if you fail. And it's different. It's a different type of responsibility. And you need to have always a bit of that. And I know that you may ask, Ricardo, how do I do that? Let's suppose you are an IT, you want to continue in IT. But which kind of experience? I would love to hear from you if you are applying for an IT job. Is that, do you do anything else? Maybe you can apply your project management skills in your community. You can do community services. I would say, if you are a PMI member or a chapter member in your chapter, or in your religious community, or in the social works, why not? This is not experience. You don't necessarily need to get paid and receive money to count as an experience. Every single journey you take counts. Every single one. For example, if you took a bike and did a round trip through the US and spent 6 months, and you are applying and I'm interviewing you for a job as a project manager, I want to hear your experience, because I just don't want to hear this because I love bikes no, I want to know, how did you manage? How many times you had a flat tire? How did you manage the different weather? Did you have any accident? How did you manage at night? Did you have any problem of people stealing your bike? How did you manage food? Did you eat in each stop? Did you bring your food? Did you cook? How if you ate in different places, did you get sick in any day? Did you see? This is exactly what I'm talking about, different experience. And you can do that. I want to hear from you. Let me reinforce this. I already read your CV. If I'm interviewing you, I don't want you just to repeat what is written there, because I know how to read. I want to know what kind of experience and what kind of learnings did you brought from, for example, doing a trekking in the Himalayas? Or did you have any accident or a health issue that you may feel comfortable on sharing, and how you manage that as a project? This is exactly what we need here. Of course, on this case, I will give far more value. For example, if you are applying for a PMO job in my company, and my company has, I would say, a broad of different projects, the diverse experience matters a lot. I want to know, did you manage, had a chance on IT, engineer, whatever. I want diversity because I want to know different places you have been. If I'm looking for a very specific kind of knowledge or someone to manage a very specific type of project, I would say, let me draw here, a super bold line on that, plus some other experience. I don't want only these bold, because project management is a human activity. I want to know, I don't want to know that you talk very well with machines. I want to know, okay, how do you manage with procurement? How do you manage with other areas? How you can interact with these people? How you handle frustration, risks? And this is experience. This is everything. One final thoughts on experience. This is more for the junior ones. Remember, you should never start your career putting money first. Never. This is a mistake. Put experience first. Because, as you can see here, the best way and the far best to move, and of course, probably here is better compensation, better salary, is through getting experience. So experience matters and matters a lot. This is why, for example, it's so important for you when you are young or starting your career that you get as much experience as you can. You need to offer. I want to volunteer to work. I want to work more. Can I do this? Can I work? And look for different ways of getting, because every single experience line in your CV matters. It matters a lot. And if you combine this process with courses and this, you move on that extremely fast. And I need to tell you, society, of course, society needs a lot of junior people. But why they need a lot of junior people? Because they need a lot of senior people that could take really hard work and hard projects and make them happen. We need to be able to move these people as fast as we can, because projects are becoming more complex, more challenging, and at the same time more rewarding. And this is why experience is something that, if you are junior or PM, experience is everything. If you're senior, it's because you already piled up a lot of clients, a lot of experience, or a lot of different projects that you can talk about. And indifferent, because if I ask you, what would you do in this scenario? You can answer saying, oh, this scenario, I had it in my professional life and I managed that way. This is an absolutely bold and powerful, because this is not a paper case. This is a real life case. And this is what experience is about.